Nope. We're going to stop it right there. Welcome back to another VRSpies live stream. Here we are with, of course, a special guest today. Sadly, it's Bradley. If you haven't seen this guy before, he is not only a content creator, but a world champion VR esports player. And of course, we do have pretty neat VR Billy hanging out with us as well. So say hello, guys. What's going on?
Hi.
Hello, guys. Not much. Not much is going on right now. Just podcasting it up.
Finished making cupcakes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to the cupcakes for sure. So this is the first
I
time
didn't even know
Bradley has
that.
been a part of the VRSpies. If you guys notice, there's not a whole lot of people here today. We've got Don, VR gaming dude. He is, what is he doing? Like doing some house windows and, repairs. You guys know he's always making everything better since he got a new house. And Chris is
Priorities are all off.
Chris is building
I
a
think.
shower. UKRifter is building a shower. So that's cool stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. None of us are going to OC6. Bradley, you're going to OC6. Tell us about what you've been doing a little bit lately, and say hi.
First I'll just go ahead and tell my quick story. I actually wasn't originally going to OC6. I got contacted before saying, "Hey, would you like free tickets to go?" And I told them no originally, but then I had stuff with immigration with my wife, and that took like I thought, because that was the reason why I said no. We thought we were gonna get we thought my wife was gonna get deported.
Which is terrible.
Yeah, that was something. That was a crazy situation. That was not even our fault, but we ended up getting it solved faster than I expected the government would ever perform fast.
That's what happens the moment you become a champion. They start taking care of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just kind of walk in there. I'm like, hey, I won something. But no, we got solved. So then it was like 2 weeks before, or it was like a week and a half ago. I was basically like messaging everyone I can to be like, hey, I told someone no. Can I actually go now? I'm sorry, it's an emergency thing. I know it's like very out of professional manners here, but then I finally, thanks to VRSpies, and a couple of them, they got me in contact with someone at Oculus, and I was able to get tickets last minute for me and my wife. So we're going. This will be our first OC6, and other than that, I've not been doing much because I was so focused on making sure I stay married in this country. But I did recently do a video showcasing local VR arcades, and like this company I thought was really interesting. They were like kind of formulating esports tournaments within arcades where each arcade across the world can compete and compare their scores with each other. And then the winning arcade gets prizes to give to their people. And I thought that was like a really cool idea. They were like
a lot of incentive right there.
Yeah. I just thought that was a really cool thing. And I told them, like, I love your concept. So I went by recently to a local arcade here in Orlando that was originally going to compete in this tournament. They had to back out due to the fact that Orlando VR arcades are kind of relying on tourism. This is quiet tourism season. But I got to do an interview with them and kind of talk about that. But other than that, I've not really done anything recently. So,
What was the name of that company, by the way?
They were called VR Territory. They've only been here for a year.
It's in Orlando, right?
Yeah. In Orlando on iDrive.
One thing I guess we can tell the audience is all three of us reside in Florida most of the time. I'm usually in Clearwater. We've got Sadly over in Orlando, and Billy, of course, is in Jacksonville. Crazy. We're all crazy people in this little Florida area. But now I'm actually in Sao Paulo, Brazil. In case you guys can't tell, this is the Sao Paulo.
I'm thinking maybe I should change my YouTube channel name to VR Florida Man.
Crazy Florida Man. Also, I think it's pretty cool that there's like more VR companies opening up actually in America in general. Of course, in a place like Orlando, you've got, like we talked about, at Full Sail University, you've got Disney all in their situation there. The Void is around there as well. So it seems that people are having an easier time opening up as people know about it, as the education gets there.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to mention, I literally went to Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars land. They just opened up recently at Disney. And Disney has a 360 camera that people can now get 360 photos of themselves in Galaxy Edge.
Oh, nice.
Which is like, I saw that, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. I almost wanted to get one, but they're charging, Disney dollars for that. So
It looked like when you were, I
Man, I
saw
need
that
to
you were
go
getting a
try
little
that.
too close, and the stormtroopers were getting in your way. Was that a post that you were putting out there?
yeah, like they
Right.
had these stormtroopers walking all the way, all around,
They
and
give
I
you
was trying.
media, but they don't want you taking photos with your phone. Is what it
Yeah,
seems
I mean they're just playing it up, and but I actually felt pretty intimidated, so I actually stopped recording
Yeah.
when that video ended. So
like on
they're doing
Twitter,
a
they
good
like get
job.
right up in your face.
Yeah, I'm like they know they just probably saw me and are like, dude, this guy is afraid of people. Let's target this guy.
Okay, well, hey,
Nice.
let's boil that back down. You come off, maybe a little shy, or you're not afraid of people, but you definitely, we're VR people, right? We keep to ourselves a little bit, and
Yeah,
going to OC6, you said there's going to be a lot of people there. So number one, if anybody in the audience is going to OC6, make sure you come up to Bradley and say hi. Number two, I think it's going to be a great way for you to meet a lot of people who already know who you are, people who you've influenced and maybe, rubbed shoulders with, maybe whether you realize it or not. So it's going to be a nice place for that to come together.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of other people. I mean, I worked. I mean, it's crazy. I have worked with so many people in the industry, just never met them in real life because a lot of the industry is all over in California, most of the industry. So, and
Yeah.
I usually don't go there for reasons. But yeah, I mean, there's gonna be so many people that I'm gonna be like, I remember emailing you. I remember Discord chatting you. I remember doing this for you. So that is really exciting and yeah, scary, but
It'll be something that I'm certainly missing because I will not be going to OC6 this year. I got to go to OC4 and OC5 and meet lots of people that I never, like you said before, you work with them, but you never expected to meet, and then you do, and it's like, wait, it just makes sense. Everything just kind of connects because it seems like in the VR world, not only are we super friendly, but you have to be very real when you're working with these people because there's such a small difference from the virtual world and the reality world. Reality world. I'm gonna copyright that trademark, I guess.
This simulation.
Yeah, it's like there really is a fine line. It's a transfer of realities or alternate dimensions, and it seems like sometimes, especially when you've got a fully set avatar in front of you with expressions and whatnot that's moving. So OC6. Somebody's asking, what is OC6? It's Oculus Connect 6. That is the 6th time that people have come together to talk about VR and their love for it, right? So that started in 2013. Jeez.
pretty big deal event in VR for everyone. So
yeah, it's. I mean, I've gone to a lot of conferences, and you can always find the VR people, and you can always find the games there and talk about it. But this place, there's nothing but that. So I guess we can talk a little bit about it. Some people are wanting to know about the Half Dome, or even the potential for AR glasses that they're going to be putting out there. We all know that Oculus is working with both. But what are they actually going to create in their next prototype? What do you guys think, or have you been reading anything about what they might be showing off during OC6?
I haven't really looked into it too much, to be honest.
Nope.
I feel I see a lot of. I mean, I'm kind of curious if we'll start seeing some more AR stuff from Oculus pretty soon.
Yeah.
I know Apple. I mean, there's tons of rumors going around about Apple and like all these other companies are. I mean, Nreal is going to be there. All these AR companies. And I feel like Oculus as a VR company will want to, become from VR to XR in general, and they'll want to start promoting AR in any way they can. I think it makes sense for Facebook in general to want to have AR devices because there's a lot of social experiences and usefulness in AR that they can really take hold of the market for. Since they already take hold of a huge VR market, it makes sense they can transition to that then pretty soon.
Right, and I agree with you. I think the future is VR and AR, which is that XR world together. Because how else do you learn more from your actual environment without those kinds of things, without I guess adding a computer to your body. I mean, being able to see things externally as well as with the real world is the future of everything when it comes to shopping, social aspects of life, and being able to connect people from far away with real people. I can just imagine having these little hologram type devices in your houses that allow you to actually see people in virtual environments, in these real environments. So it's one thing I talk a lot about, and it's something that obviously Facebook is going to want to be involved in, as you said, but I think even more so conceptually. I think that if they can show these concepts before other people, or even if Apple has all these ideas, if Facebook can come out there and say, hey, we're working on these types of things, even if they're not real products.
They really should. Given
So,
the hype around, like the hype that Magic Leap had for so long, that would probably be beneficial for.
And did you guys get to try
Facebook being more solid too? I never got to try it. I actually haven't tried any AR glasses
So
yet.
I can say I did the HoloLens 2 and the Magic Leap, and both of them had a very similar field of view. It's just not there yet. It's not for the expensive of the price for how cumbersome it really is. Even though it's pretty simple to wear, it's just does not give you that wow factor that you get when you watch a movie showing you the idea of it, right?
You just want to wear glasses, like smaller form factor.
We have something like contacts that are doing something similar to that. That's when it's really going to change the world. Or even glasses that just completely give you a full field of view. It's just there's so many things involved with that. Whether it becomes the computational and the power with all of it. So I'm not going to go into it. But I don't much smarter people than I are working on that. So clearly. But hey, what's going on, Eric Hartley? I see you in the chat. Good to see you there, E-. And talking about OC6, I think that they're going to not only be showing some stuff off in the keynote, but obviously they're going to be praising the successes that they had with the Rift S and the Quest, because those things were selling like hotcakes. I don't think they had a hard time getting those things off the shelf. What about now? It's kind of maybe stagnating. What do you guys think? I
don't know. The only thing I heard was Greg didn't like his Oculus, old VR Gaming Involved. He returned it. Yeah, he had it for he said he had it for a week or something, and he was so disappointed with the black levels that he sent it back, and then he got a index, I think.
The Rift S.
Yes, but he plays a lot of role playing kind of games like Fallout or Skyrim, where he's looking for games where the nights actually feel super dark, and you're not seeing a gray for the shadows.
What headset does he think is the best for the blacks then?
What's that?
What headset does he say is the best for the blacks?
Well, probably OLED, but the index wasn't that much better because it's still it's not the black levels aren't that much better, but it is a little bit better. He said.
Money.
Is it just for the headset?
Yeah, it's
like $500.
Isn't it? Or okay, maybe
not. That's only $500, but that doesn't include the tracking or anything.
Yeah, you don't have the trackers.
I'm thinking of that. I was also wondering, if you guys actually have had much experience with the Rift S, because I think this is actually one of the cool little headsets for the price. But I just really wish I had a deluxe audio strap on top, because I really want to have a deluxe audio.
Does it really break down that quick?
Yeah.
Does it really break down that quick?
I just wrap a shirt around this whole section right here, and then.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Separate. So, but that's one thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned at least. I really want a deluxe Pro audio strap with this guy. We can do it. It's simple.
Dude, that is awesome how quickly you broke that down, though, for real. I just took apart my OSVR and the FOV to get the strap and everything off so I could put it on display. And it took me forever to get the strap off the OSVR. It's so... Oh, man. That's crazy you just broke it down that quick. That's cool.
That, and I hope I also did make some of these cables for the DisplayPort and the USB. So one quick thing I do want to say about this, because it's the complete opposite problem of the original CV1. So back when I was extending these CV1 cables, I would find that the USB would almost always work. And the way I would test that is I would take the Oculus Rift and I would plug the HDMI directly into my computer, and then I would extend the USB as far as I could, just the USB. And the headset would work and work and work, even sometimes 20 feet away. But the moment I would try to extend the HDMI more than 10 feet, usually the headset wouldn't work. So what I found worked the best was adding these little repeaters, which eventually, like wildfire, I think a few people figured it out themselves, but I made several videos saying, hey, get these repeaters. And then when you did that, you could extend the Rift up to another, 10 feet. So usually about 16 up to 20 feet. I think I did about 25 feet before I had problems. Anyway, that's one of the things you can do with this one, extending the HDMI with repeaters. Now, when it comes to the CV1, if you actually read the documentation, it says there's a battery in here. It says there's a lithium battery inside this thing, which I don't know if that's even 100% true. It says there is in the documentation, and I don't feel it. It feels really light. But what I do know is that when you plug this in, the display port has no problem, right? You can extend the display port 6 feet, 10 feet, sometimes 15, 16 feet if you have one of those really long ones, and the Rift still works. It's just that the USB doesn't like to be extended very much because of the power. So we're having the opposite problem here. So what I found is that most computers, most laptops will work just fine with an active 6-foot USB cable. But if you want to use a 10-foot cable, which is what a lot of people are doing and having trouble with, you need to use like a USB hub, a powered USB hub. If you plug the USB directly into the powered USB hub, all of a sudden you're going to get that little white light actually staying on instead of flickering to orange all the time. So I spent a lot of time with a lot of different cables, again, trying to find the best way to extend this. And that's what I've found out is 6 and 10 feet work just great, but you have to have a USB hub on a 10-foot sometimes. A lot of Alienware laptops will play it with both. So those actually
send the power through there. What's the battery
Yeah,
for
man.
though? Did you find out what it did?
I would assume, like many things, that it just helps keep the thing powered and brighter and doing its job better. Like for example, I have to anytime I have an adapter for like my Amazon little Fire Stick or my Chrome Ultra, those adapters that plug into USB, you have to charge them for 15-20 minutes first, and then you can use them to plug into USB because they have to have a little extra power built into them. Some people know more than I on this subjects, but I could almost assume this does something similar to that, where it kind of holds a little bit extra charge in there. That way it can be more powerful than if it didn't have that
power. Nice.
We'll see.
Cool
We'll see
beans.
more than I on that. But somebody's going to be like, no, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Try to look it up.
There's my little lesson on cables. And yes, of course, I'm selling those things, but you can make them yourself. I'm selling them for cheap. Make them yourself, preferably. So I guess I did want to switch and talk a little bit about this talk I got to do, but hey, let's make sure we finish on OC6. Did you guys have anything you wanted to talk about OC6 or anything specific about it?
I'm
not going, so I'm mad about it. I'm just kidding.
Oculus, how could you not
I'm excited to see the Respawn game, the Titanfall Makers game, for sure. That'll be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually more excited because while I'm out there, I'm actually stopping by day after OC6 to the HTC Vive marketing office. And I want to see, hopefully, the Cosmos before that comes out while I'm there. So that'll be because I'm very curious about that one. I don't plan to actually get one, but I'm still curious to see like how it stacks up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, right now you're using the Index and the Knuckles, is that right?
Yeah, I'm using the Index for sure, 100% of the time.
Yeah. So, and how do you feel about that? I mean, as far as just the change from the Vive, because you never really, I mean, you have an Oculus, but you never really sat with Oculus. Right?
Yeah, I've had a CB1. I didn't really like. I just didn't fit on my face well. I never got the VR covers or anything. I heard that helped for people like me that just it didn't feel comfortable on my face, but I never got those. But I always used the Vive original, the Vive Pre actually for the years I've been doing this. Then I finally upgraded to Index, and it felt so crazy. Especially actually, it felt crazy at the beginning, but I got so used to it. But we'll talk later. Like when we talk about WCG later, like we went back to using the normal Vives, and I was like, ew. I was like, oh, it's terrible. Oh my god.
Dude, I totally understand that because like I tried putting my Vive back on after the Index the other day, and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. Like the field of view, wearing a headset, like it's not comfortable. But oh my god, I Index for me is the clear winner on that. It's like the audio for me is just like next level, dude.
Yeah, especially the microphone. That always kills me. Like I always love talking to people, and like just the microphone of other people using the Index, and like it sounds like they're always whispering right next to you in your ears. Like it's so good, the mic and the audio. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was kind of freaked out when I put it on. Like even on my unboxing live stream, like the first time that there was audio sent through it, I was like, "Whoa!" I thought someone was in my room. That's so weird.
See,
They
I'm
threw
really
it off.
glad that you guys said that because I am a huge fan of audio in general, audiophile, like through and through, and VR and audio is just one of those. I gotta say, cheap. It's one of the cheapest things that you can do to make the most immersion, and even this is what we got from Oculus for sound. Okay, so sad moment for that. Okay, go ahead and continue telling me about how awesome the Index audio is.
That was sad. You're just like, here's what we have.
It's just
Silence.
it really is like, it's better than these Sennheiser headphones. They're like, were pretty, like, they were like mid-grade, pretty expensive back when I bought them like a few years ago. And like, I even use a, what do you call it? What's the word? I can't even use the word, think of the word, but amp or whatever.
Amplifier?
Oh, like a
Amplifier
Sennheiser
to make them sound better. But even my Index sounds better. It's crazy.
So yeah, I've never felt like I was sitting in the room with somebody talking to me directly with these guys on. Unfortunately, I use a lot of my own headphones with them, so that helps with it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be one of the biggest things in VR in the future is being able to, well, not only connect with the sound of the worlds around you, but I don't know, have those really cheap things at the best quality that they can be, whether it be the resolution of the lenses, the audio, because obviously tactile feedback is going to be a completely different world right now. You either have to plug in for that or have a really huge, expensive setup for that stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, I got this thing back together. We're good. I still am very happy with this device, though. I ended up buying it because I wanted to do a live demo during my talk. So I'm going to go ahead and transition real quick. I did the TEDx VR talk, right? And for that, like I said, I wanted to do a live VR demo, but so many little things happened, and it's, you guys can relate. People don't quite understand like the technology, right? Even still. And this whole university, they bought a bunch of Vives and they bought a bunch of VR headsets, and they even knew I was coming. And just in case, I brought my graphics card and power supply and memory and stuff, just in case someone needed to throw it into a tower. And I get there, and they had not one VR capable computer on the entire university campus, in spite of all the VR headsets that they had bought earlier that year. And not only that, but they didn't even have a full-size tower that I could put in my graphics card. Everything was one of those half towers there. And then I even tried to call a rental company, and they had nothing last minute. I even called a VR group in town. You know, thought it would be a nice VR community of guys that could help me out. And they were like, we have a computer you could borrow for like $1,000. And it was like, you guys aren't my VR friend.
Thanks, buddy.
Although I did buy the headset for the talk, there is no demo in my TEDx talk. I ended up having to do the whole thing just talking. And for the moment that I thought I was going to do the demo, I ended up just actually kind of ad-libbing and talking instead. Ad-libbing and talking. So, and it worked out okay. But I'm just sad because I really feel like there's a connection that happens when somebody sees you moving your body and sees you moving your hands and then sees this, you know, the avatar or whatever. There's that realization of that's how real it is. And even when you're just watching videos, I feel like you miss that a little bit. So I'm kind of upset about that. I wanted to be one of those guys that got to do a talk and play VR on screen, but it worked out regardless. But yeah, we'll see if they actually take the talk and review it and it passes all the guidelines, and then they can actually upload it on the internet. Then you guys will be able to see it. But I think I want to show a small clip. And then I'll complain about what I've messed up at.
So you can't upload it. You can't upload. They won't send you the original video.
Well,
till they review it.
Well, I'm sure I could get the files from the college themselves. And so like if they don't post it online, I'll post it. Right? No big deal.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But for now, yeah, what I've been doing is I've just got some video from my camera that I had somebody else filming. So I can show that kind of stuff. And let me see here. I think I have it. Yep. So I've got this clip that I'm just going to show. That's actually like it shows a little bit of the VRSpies. Because
across the VR news website and a weekly VR podcast, trying to give information to everybody about what was happening in the industry. Of course, these people that I met through virtual worlds, eventually we became real world friends. We did so many things together in virtual places that we felt a lot like a family. I really have a lot of respect for all those people, and it was a great way to immerse myself in the industry and actually gain more interest.
Okay, yep. Okay, yep. All right. So there's like a little clip right there. I just showed a little part where I was talking about the VRSpies and how you guys mean a lot to me. And no, truly being able to be having a place where I could write articles and just take my interest and put it into kind of a professional, somewhat format. And also put it out there for other people to digest. It was something that was helpful for myself and also hopefully helpful for some other people out there. So I definitely wanted to use this talk as an opportunity to kind of mention everything that kind of happened in my life from VR, which started out as a wannabe developer to slowly into a video content creator, and then now working with a lot of companies slowly through the years with freelance projects, and now working here in Brazil with an actual VR company. So
Hell yeah.
So
GameHard is going to OC6. Look at that. Hey, boys. Vivian is sending me to OC6 this year. Looking forward to seeing y'all. Incredible TED Talk, Caleb. Also, congratulations to the VR champ.
GameHard is going to OC6. You know what? I'm happy to see that. That is going to be so awesome. Unfortunately, I don't get a video. That sucks, man. GameHard, that's so cool. Make sure you say hi to the champion while you're there. And so Bradley, you're going to notice that he's going to be this like, he's probably going to be decked out in like ammo and like, I'm not sure. He might be wearing his full gear, full kit. But
gas mask.
Can I say Norwegian? Can I say the silly Norwegian guy? He's going to be the silly Norwegian.
Yep.
GameHard. You can jump in if you want GameHard. You can always come in. You can always come back. Yeah, that'll be cool. So I can't wait to see some pictures of that. That'll be really cool. I can only imagine. What was I going to say too? I was going to say, as far as the talk, Bradley, I told you also in messages in Discord, I'm like, hey, Bradley, I'm gonna shout you out, or I think I said I shouted you out in the TED Talk, because I talk about WCG a little bit in the talk, and we both know how cool it was and how awesome it was to be a part of it. At the same time, we also know how kind of like silly lucky we are just to have been able to go and be involved in the preliminary, because it's like, I mean, as difficult as it was, as much work as we put in, you much more than myself.
You had like hundreds of hours, man.
Yeah, we were lucky enough just to be put into it in the first place, which had to do with the developers themselves. So big thanks to Phaserlock, the guys from Texas that actually chose us, because this all happened because of Phaserlock coming together with the WCG. So big props to that entire team. But so yeah, I got to the preliminary, and the one person I was scared to fight against in the tournament was Bradley.
It's me, right? Oh,
yeah, pretty.
Was Bradley?
So actually, that's right. Pretty Neat was in the tournament. I forgot, Billy. How do I?
That was the biggest hurdle. You had to beat me.
I completely forgot you were in this preliminary too, my friend.
Dick.
Bradley never got to fight you, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so he didn't know how tough of an opponent.
I know. I actually did. He beat me though at practicing one time.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I do remember that.
It's a close game though. It was real close.
Well, I can remember how it happened.
No.
I was practicing myself, and I was feeling pretty confident because I was doing pretty well. The game had just come out, so I was using my knowledge of just VR games in general and my little RTS capabilities. And I got matched up against Bradley the night before the tournament, and I remember thinking to myself, "Shit, this is not what I wanted." And I can't remember exactly what happened, but actually I do remember what happened. I remember exactly what map it was too. We were on that little tiny map with the little, where you come down, you have the hills where normally people take the ATGs and shoot them at each other. We were there, and I did a Simmons quick one on you, and I beat him. I beat Bradley, and I was like, wow, I just beat him in practice. He's going to be scared. He's going to be scared a little bit. He's going to think Caleb knows what he's doing. And I'm like, I had no idea what I was doing. So I was all happy, and I waited like, I don't know, I waited like an hour or something, hoping that Bradley's going to be in another game by now. And of course, it puts me right up against Bradley again. I was like, shit. And then I don't remember what happened there. I just remember I got beat pretty quick.
Yeah, I think you picked a different character that time.
I was always switching it up. I didn't have a main. I still don't have a main. I'm not a Beaumont guy. You know that, man. I don't want Beaumont. I like Nichols too. I just can't play Nichols against you. So I can't go too meta. People are like, what are they talking about? But what happened was the next day during the tournament, I got very fortunate, and you almost beat me a couple times, and I came back and ended up winning the preliminary. And then luckily, because you and I were both first and second place, unfortunately Billy was kicked out in round one. Because because we were first and second place, we both got to go to China, which was awesome. And then when we got there, I don't think I practiced for the next 2.5 months. And then you got like 300 more hours of.
Yeah, something like that. Dude, I love this game, and I still am like heavily involved in it.
It only got better. It's only gotten better. It really has.
One of my favorite VR games, I think, or was.
No, I love how you can actually get close to the map and how much, we've talked about how much detail there is and how beautiful the actual game is, and truly the way that it makes you feel when it starts. It's like it gets my heart going. It gets me pretty excited about it. I can only imagine you feel pretty comfortable now knowing what you know about the game.
Yeah, I remember like in our our last preliminary match, I played a character I actually wasn't really very comfortable with, but I challenged myself before that tournament. I was like, I want to play a different character each game I played, and that was like my least played character at the time. I always think about like now, like, man, I wish I was that good at that character back then, because it would have been a lot more interesting.
If you were Nichols, I would have been destroyed.
Oh yeah, I literally used Nichols. The other guy that competed in our region was, what was his name? 8-bit. Yeah. He had to go up against the Nichols, unfortunately, in that. But that was I really do love the game though, and it does keep getting better. And I remember not just Caleb. I didn't play just Caleb the day before, but like even the months leading up, I kept constantly playing against everyone. The only people I didn't play against at all ever was Cash and Shari. I never got to play against them at all, but everyone else kept Durable kept practicing. Dole, we can talk more about that later, but yeah, it was always fun to like run into the other participants online, because I was just playing the game, and then sometimes, oh hey, that's a WCG competitor. That's
trying to like memorize. Okay, what character does he use?
yeah.
That was one thing I thought. Hey, if I don't play at all, at least I don't get practice. But they don't know my style either.
Right.
Yeah, that's the first game. The one you knocked me in the lower bracket. My idea was I got to rush bombers because I know Kayla's probably gonna go Simmons. Like that was my brain. I just yeah. So that's why I did that.
I was thinking to hide the bomber till the last game. I was just gonna try to get the troops on the ground, which is why I remember I was pushing real hard on the ground, and then I was doing all ATG. I was just constantly trying to stop your airplanes, and similar to what Remy did to me in the championship. He was able to completely stop those bombers. So yeah, it was a good situation. Basically you and I had this moment of timing that was so short. About 10 seconds decided whether or not I was the winner or you were the winner, and you were Bradley was trying to bomb me over and over and over again, and I was just taking big bombers to his base instead. And then basically last minute I bombed you, and yeah, I had a sliver of health left, so it was about 10 seconds maybe or less of what decided who got to call themselves the first on that preliminary.
That was a crazy game, honestly.
I make jokes about it a lot, and I say, "Oh, I won," but man, do I know how lucky I was?
Yeah, that one was super intense, man.
Yeah, it was good. Plus, it was nice. We had people voice casting for it and talking about it, so that was pretty cool. I guess this is a good time to talk about the WCG, because I will tell everybody during my TED Talk. Not many people are going to know this, but a few people will at least hear me now, just like you guys got to. I fucked up. Sorry, I'm sorry. I messed up. I messed up. I just completely forgot a paragraph on the VR esports, and so I'm going to say it right now. I can't remember it quite, but what I say is there's a lot of applications that you can exercise with, even more that can be considered competitive gaming. This is where we get into VR esports. Now VR esports are so vast and amazing, right? Basically, VR sports are very engaging to the brain. It's very real, like a real sport would be. And this is coming from somebody who actually played baseball and soccer and football throughout high school, right? In my own life, I've been able to do VR tournaments like dance competitions, sport competitions, and many other VR tournaments. Earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to participate in the World Cyber Games and win the North American preliminary, make my way as one of only 2 people to go to Xi'an, China to participate in the world's first VR championship, right? And then I show WCG and it goes into the video and I talk about how nervous I was to go on stage. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I said something about exercise and apps, and then I hit the slide. The slide popped up too soon, and I went, there was a preliminary, and I'm the winner. I won. And then I kind of, yeah. And then it got awkward.
Yeah.
And then I kind of remembered where I was supposed to be, and then I got back. There was about 1 minute of awkwardness, so I'm really hoping that production, the group, goes in there and edits the crap out of that and makes me look okay, and then I'll be happy.
That's where they clap, though, right? Did I get the clap part right?
Here, I'm gonna look for this part
I
where I talk about Bradley. I'm gonna look for this part. Yeah, here we go.
Luckily, we didn't take long before we put the headsets on, and when you're
I'm showing a clip now.
VR, you don't see any of the people around you. You're just in the game, which is awesome, unlike this right here. And when we're playing the game, well, we played Finalist. Finalist is a real-time strategy game that is really, really fun. You have to use more mental ability than you do physical. Even so, it works perfectly in VR. You control the troops and the airplanes with your hands, while you have to keep track and be prepared for what your teammates are doing, the opponents. Luckily, I was able to win a few matches, but unfortunately, I didn't come out with a championship. I tied for 5th. Even so, on that last day, the event organizers saw that I had some free time. They realized that I had.
This is my cringy part.
Hey man, we know you like to talk. Would you like to come do the voice casting for the championship title? So now I can say I've been a professional VR esports athlete, as well as a professional esports caster, which is a pretty cool thing for me, considering that I used to spend a lot of time at home watching these events and live streams. It was very cool to have a chance to participate in an event as prestigious as this. Big props to Bradley Lynch, the winner of the actual VR championship. The other American that went with me is the guy that came home with the gold. Good for him. In my daily life, I like to use VR to stay in shape, to connect myself with other people.
Okay, yep, there we go. There's the clip of that. So, yeah, Bradley, maybe you can see. I gave you some.
No, that was great. I loved it. I love the crowd reaction, especially just everything.
Yeah.
They're just like,
like, oh.
And that was my roughest. Unfortunately, the whole WCG part was my roughest part, because during that section, I was not on my head properly. But I don't know. Luckily, all the other parts I feel like went okay. And more than anything, I just wanted to. That's the best reaction. I just wanted to show off VR and really give some love to some different people as much as possible. So anyway, that's what I'll show with the TED Talk. I'm so happy I got to do it. Hopefully I can show you guys some more stuff very soon. But yeah, Bradley, if you wanted to
good, man.
WCG, we were talking about some of the practice stuff you're saying we can talk about later. Well, this is later right now, man. This is the WCG time. What about that experience has changed your life right now? You've been on some news programs already, and you know, just anything that you want to talk about it. Let's go.
I mean, I always dreamed for many years to actually compete in the esports tournament before this, and but I was never really good at flat games. We'll just say that. Never really good at flat games. So when this email, like when I first got the WCG email, like I could not sleep that night. I was so excited. I was like, this is finally a chance I can fulfill this dream. And that's part of the reason I took kind of it so seriously, because I always wanted to do this. Like this was a lifelong dream for me. But then I started playing the game, and then I was like actually really enjoyed the game too. So that helped as well.
Yes.
But yeah, the actual going to the event, man, that was, despite being sick, I think it's literally like was one of the greatest weeks of my life, despite being sick. Like I really enjoyed everything about it. It was just
better had you not been sick, but
it would have been for sure. Yeah, I didn't
get dog, so he didn't get to hang out. The reason you're not in a lot of the pictures is purely because he's like in the hotel with a, you know.
Yeah, I got to go to a Chinese clinic. That added to the experience of of that life there. But it was still like from day 1 to day 5 or whatever it was. Like I loved it. All of it was just so fun. I talked about how they used the Vives though. Like the Vives just felt like I couldn't see anything after practicing with the Index for like a couple months at that point. But
not even just it's not. there were so many things. I don't remember asking what headsets they were using. I almost just assumed like that it wasn't going to be the thing I'm not very good with. But Vive with wands playing Final Assault, I'd been practicing with the Rift myself, and that was difficult, to go from that. And you sat there and, like you said, going even from the knuckles to changing from the Vive wands. I'm sure there's little differences when you're doing the meta with moving the planes and everything. So
Yeah, luckily, I mean, in preliminary, I got to use the wands because that was before I got. Well, I had that.
yeah,
Well, actually, I had the pre-release knuckles, but a lot of times I was always too lazy to charge a lot of controllers, so I'd end up using like one wand and one knuckle at the same time, and during the game sometimes,
right.
kind of weird. So I didn't have trouble with the controllers as much,
That's
but
funny.
like
That would be really weird.
it felt like, what it felt like, because usually I'd have the knuckle on my left hand and the wand on my right hand. It felt like I had a artist palette and I was like painting.
Yeah, yeah.
It felt really kind of neat in a way. But
I could understand that.
yeah, but cool. I mean, the whole event. I mean, not just the fact my wife's from China, so we got to even her parents who live in China got to go and watch me play, and like it was just a great experience for me. I always think about it every day, honestly. Like, I just think like this was so fun. I wish I wasn't sick, but even though I was sick and I got like to compete in this and do this, and it's just been great. And since then, as Caleb said, I did get to go on the news a couple times. One time I was just purely talking about VR, similar to actually how he did. Like, it was like kind of a no practice TED talk.
It was your own TED talk, man.
Yeah. But that was fun because I can just talking to people. I said like it's not I'm not amazing at it, but I go in front of a camera and like they ask me to start talking about VR. Like I become a different person, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
okay, you picked a good topic. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can keep talking about it over and over, and that went well. And since that event, I've been kind of like wanting to cover esports in general, VR esports, of course. I mean, so I've been like getting all these contacts that are kind of focused in this realm. That kind of opened a lot of interesting, I wouldn't say doors, but a lot of interesting topics that I just really didn't search before this. And the most interesting thing I want to add to what you're saying about how like VR esports is pretty different is if you actually attend a VR esports event, you're not watching just a booth with people like sitting down on a computer. You're watching people like move their bodies kind of like silly ways, and that kind of adds to like the experience a little bit. It's kind of funny seeing these people like go up their head up and down, like all their arms around and all that good stuff, and yeah, people, and like you kind of have to be a little bit in shape to do some things sometimes with these VR sports. Like a lot of the onward people, they got to crouch and all this stuff in real life, and like that adds so much to esports that people don't really realize how funny it is till they actually see it in real life.
Right. You're tapping into that whole like fact that it can be sometimes exercisable, getting you in shape, and even like Final Assault, although there's not much movement, you still have to move. You still have to use your body, and you have to be prepared with how to use it. And I think the more memory you have, more muscle memory that you have with those things, then oh my god, that dog is cute. Yes. Yes. It's a mix of a husky style dog.
Yeah, husky Pomeranian mix.
That's right.
His name is Peanut, and he's pretty much where all the prize money goes into. No, but yeah,
here's his $5,000 gold chain, and nice.
I saw him shoot up on my knuckles the other day, though. Got the replacements literally last week, but he got into my VR equipment, and boy, that was fun.
Well, actually, you remind me now. You're talking about the leading up to even playing in this tournament. I played the Vive Pro with the knuckles at work when I was in LA preparing for the tournament. And then I was sitting at my Airbnb using the Rift S pre-release to actually play in the preliminary. And then then it was just like this. And then I changed to, of course, the Vive, old school Vive when we're at the actual championship. So I never, ever had any familiarity or muscle memory with anything that I was doing. I'm not going to complain. It's all my own doing. And I had a lot of life moving and traveling going on during the 2.5 months leading up to the tournament. But as I told you, even when we were there, I felt like a winner just going into it. Like just the fact that I got to go to China and be in the preliminary, I felt like a huge winner. Don, what's up? And of course, you there, I was trying to live through Bradley the whole time. I kept saying to everybody, I kept telling Brad, like, you're American. We're from America together. You win, I win together. And I felt like that the whole time. So,
Yeah, they did very well treating every player like superstars, honestly. Like, especially that final dinner, I was like amazed by that buffet they had and everything. Like, I really did feel like kind of like a star.
Crab and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And VR Gamer Dude, what's going on, brother? I don't think I can hear you yet.
I can't hear him
unfortunately. Yep.
No audio.
Not yet. It's okay. We'll wait till we can hear. But it's kind of these guys, these professionals with their green screen backgrounds, man. I wish I had a green screen background. Oh wait, check it out. Check it out. I got one over there. I got a whole wall.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh,
That's okay. That's the worst. That's my voice when I'm trying to be impressive. Whoa, check it out, guys.
oh yeah. Let me see where my green screen's at.
He's gonna pull out a whole screen from the closet.
Yeah.
Wait, everybody. Where'd Billy go? He's invisible.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
No. Yeah, it's blurry. All right.
Joining the club. Closet's got some crap in it.
Well, also, as we're talking here, Don, I'm not sure what's going on, brother. We can also, if anybody has any questions for Bradley or want to say anything about what they believe is going to be happening at OC6, whether it be a half-dome prototype or an AR device, I think that they're just going to show off conceptual things myself. That's my idea. I don't think they're going to have an actual Rift 2 or anything to show off.
2.0.
I could be wrong. I think they're going to show off what they want the Rift 2 to be, though, and they're going to want to hear what our reactions are about it. That's what I think. What do you think?
It's pretty likely, honestly.
Hey, Don, what's going on, brother? All right. Well, he's going to be a mime, and then when something good happens, he's going to like celebrate for us. When something bad happens, he'll frown. It'll be perfect. It's still going to help us. It's still going to be good for it. Eric Hartley says cheapo AR device like Snap Spectacles with future AR VR talk from Abrash.
Yeah.
Some product managers. Yeah, Snap Spectacles, huh? Think so. We're talking about.
Snapchat or Snapchat.
I'm not even sure if I've seen the
glasses.
Snap Spectacles. Do you guys know about those?
Yeah, they're pretty goofy.
They're a little crappy.
I don't know much about those. The last thing I actually knew about was the in-real glasses that were coming out that everybody was saying were stolen from Magic Leap, right? The guy that stole the patent.
Oh,
he said
yeah.
He didn't. He was like, no. This is our own stuff. And they actually contacted me saying, hey, we'd like to send you a pair. You could do a review on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. And then they never met.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I got an email about that too, and I was like, I got extremely excited. I was like, yes, finally, some like AR in my life.
I feel like I get a lot of emails for things, and I'm always kind of like, I just don't get excited anymore because it's like they're either phishing, BS, or sometimes they're real, and I don't quite know. Even when the WCG one came out, I was like, sure, let's see what this is. And it's like, oh, it's real. That's nice. Actually, speaking of that, I got to do some interview. So the WCG people were walking around afterwards doing some interviews with different people in the little players area, like the players lounge. And I'm sitting back there and like they were trying to ask some questions and people were kind of being awkward. So I took the microphone and I did a little interview with some of the people around me. And the guy was like, okay, that's what we need. Can you just do that later in the night? So after the dinner, he had me interview a couple other people. And then they contacted me again earlier this month. So I'm going to be interviewing like all the different casters from the World of Warcraft and the other bigger games.
wow.
To make little interviews and videos for that. So yeah, I get to work with them on kind of a marketing level, which is pretty fun. Because I like doing that stuff. I like being able to genuinely love being able to like lift other people up and make them show off their potential, right? So it's kind of a fun way for me to do cool things for myself, things that I like doing, as well as to lift some other people up. And doing it with the WCG name is kind of nice. So the more the VR people can take over WCG, the more we can actually have a presence in that actual VR gaming community. And esports this last year, here's a little fact. Esports this year is going to have over $1 billion poured into it, which is like 27% more than last year. And if you think about the kind of exponential growth of that right there and how much we're making on traditional sports, it's no doubt that here in the next few years, esports is going to take over everything as far as most views, more people in a stadium, more people actually watching a sport in general, because it can be something that worldwide people can connect to. And of course, as that money grows, people that are in that field are going to be able to do more and more with it. And right now,
Netflix shows, man.
Money.
I mean,
Money.
it's not all about money. And Bradley, you didn't jump into it for money, but the fact is, you gotta win a 10K purse, which is amazing. I think I got to win a couple grand when I got to win the preliminary, and those things are like small beans compared to what these other players and these other games are making, that are getting hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars for their wins. So it's so amazing that you got to be the champion, but it's going to be so bittersweet when you see somebody doing the exact same thing and taking home $1 million.
Yeah.
But VR Gamer dude, I think I can
hear me now.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm actually here. Okay, so right on. That's what happens when you like run in here last second and boot everything up and shit, nothing works. So hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Good, man.
We are kind of running down to the end of it here, but it's good that you're here so we can at least chat up a little bit and see what you were talking about. Did you get to hear any of the
So heard you guys talking about Unreal just a minute ago. I was actually just talking to those guys the other day. Cool that they're starting to send out the dev kits. Hopefully going to be actually getting one of those to play with. So more to come on that.
They're continuing to contact you because I haven't heard anything back from them.
Yeah. I talked to him on Twitter the other day.
Pretty good conversation where you like to keep on these hardware manufacturers and
yeah. Well, you got
squeaky wheel, huh?
But what have you guys been doing the last couple of weeks?
Working a lot.
Working, my friend, and of course we're trying to make sure that Bradley goes to OC6 and gets all the information he can in Spies.
Yeah, I know. I got to tell you, for those of you guys who are watching, I'm gutted. I'm gonna miss all of you. So I'm really hoping for some good information out of OC6 from all my friends and out on the floor. So
yeah, I'm excited to see all the social videos. Did Gamehard said he's going?
What?
Gamehard's actually going. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm really gutted that I'm gonna miss it. So,
I know. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Don, you've been actually pretty good at doing content lately, and even Bradley, you finally started doing content. I haven't made a video in 2 weeks, and pretty neat. Have you done videos recently? No, not at all. So you two are most active right now.
Yeah, I tried to stick with it. I've always tried to put out at least 1 to 2 videos a week ever since my channel started back in the day. And, it's just, I play a lot more than that, but I kind of just narrow it down to what are the, 1 or 2 things this week that really caught my eye. And, lately I've been doing some more Quest stuff, starting to get back into the Quest. My Pimax, I'm getting that swapped out with Pimax. I started having some issues with it, so I am waiting for their announcements. They were supposed to have some announcements on the 16th, but unfortunately, because of the hurricane in Florida, and those announcements were coming from Pimax USA for once, which is kind of interesting. They had to delay those announcements on possibly some fixes for the cracking plastic issue, possibly some news on their version of the deluxe audio strap, and hopefully some news on the sword controllers. So stay tuned for that. But yeah.
How's the 3D printed pieces doing? Are you still holding up?
I'm not gonna lie, Billy, they busted.
They did.
Yeah, I can show you here since we're on camera. I'll show you since you asked. Yeah, the clipping.
Oh, and the top one.
The top right here, and then the hinge busted off of the side right here. This one's still holding up really good though. So,
Yeah.
But you guys can see I have modded my Pimax now. Billy helped me out with some 3D prints, so thank you very much for that. Kind of got me where I wanted to
That's
be.
what happens with the cheap PLA.
Yeah, but man, I'll tell you what, it is like a whole freaking different headset, guys. It is like night and day on the comfort. I've got the nice VR cover velour pad in there. I also just used
talking about VR covers.
Freshly released VR cover back pad for the Oculus Quest, but I put it on the DAS here, and this is like the most comfortable headset I've ever owned. I mean, it is insane. And then with that wide field of view, you cannot go wrong. I'm just loving the thing now.
We have
Nice.
the back cover that you're talking about, VR cover, but the one thing people have also been wanting to know about, the Rift S cover comes out on the 24th for VR
Yes,
cover.
no, it does. Yeah, it does.
So-
And you know, big, huge shout out to VR Cover for sending all the accessories out.
I'm wearing that shirt too.
Nice. I still
Oh yeah,
have, I still have my old
cool shirt with the games on it. I just got that the new black shirt that's like the old version of the old white shirt that had that pattern on it. So,
Yeah.
I still have my old my
Bradley was wearing that,
GK2
and I
cover.
realized kittens.
I still have my personalized ones. Remember when
Yeah,
they
with
sent
the
us
name
the
on it.
podcast? We had our names on it and everything. That like blew me
Yeah.
away. Those guys, much love to them. So
Real quick, Bradley. What shirt is that, man? Is that Sailor Moon? Who is that?
Oh, this is a Dota 2 shirt.
Oh, Dota. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, I used to have one of those white VR cover shirts, but that one shrunk. A little
yeah,
too
man,
much.
I'm telling you what. And PSA out there for big boys like me, if you're ordering from the US, even the XL is not an XL, guys. I'm just saying. It's like that's the tightest damn XL I've ever worn. So and they don't do 2X. So if you're a big guy, you might be out of luck on some of the VR cover shirts. Just you know.
Come on, man. We got simple solutions here. Pragmatic people. Fine. I think that VR covers are probably going to continue to be the best of the best that you can get for your stuff right now. But as far as headsets that work, Don, Pimax.
Yeah, no, digging it. Really, like I said, really excited to see the announcements that they're going to make. I really hope they're finally going to get the backers, all of the stuff that they pledged to get. You know, that's the biggest
still
thing with
back
them is that they keep iterating their headsets. So they've got even like the 8KX that still hasn't come out, which is the true 4K per eye.
Yeah.
But still to this date, I mean, they're almost 2
5K
years
plus.
past the Kickstarter. They still have not produced on some of the
5K
Kickstarter
plus.
backers pledges.
Uh-oh.
Like they were supposed to get the deluxe audio strap, they were supposed to get the sword controllers, they were supposed to get the Lighthouse 2.0s, and Pimax still hasn't delivered on that for them. So I don't know. You know, if this announcement is a new headset, I think it's going to really piss a lot of people off. They really need to fix the problems that they have with their existing lineup, and they need to get those extra rewards to their Kickstarter backers.
They always keep making more and more and more of them. But just to bring around, Bradley, have you tried the Pimax at all?
I have not actually at all.
Was your dog chewing on that?
Yeah, this is
Is
we're
it
talking
slobbery?
about comfortable headsets.
What?
A little foam pad you put on the index, and I just put Peanut,
Oh, nice.
get a dog.
Oh boy!
Oh, man.
Okay, well, we'll try not to take too much more time because we know that your dog's going to destroy your room if he does so. But Bradley, I am interested on some questions on, before we wrap up the podcast. I just kind of wanted you to talk a little bit about how you got into VR, just a little bit, because when I first saw you, I remember seeing videos back in the day of you just playing basic some of the early applications, and you were just kind of doing playthroughs, showing yourself on screen with them, as well as I remember, of course, you showing off the Knuckles when they first came out back in the time, because I was wanting to do the same and looking for other people that were also showing them off. So I guess, yeah, tell us a little bit about how you kind of got started into VR and how you started making videos for it, and how your channel became what it is.
Yeah, so I entered a contest, and I remember that E- was actually, I'm gonna make sure, I'm pretty sure, like 100% sure, he also entered the same contest and got the Vive Pre. We got to go to the Steam VR Developer Showcase back in.
He says, "Yep."
Yes, he says yes. Yeah, gotta love Eric, man.
Yeah, he's everywhere, man. I swear.
Dude, he is like one of the pillars of the VR community. I swear.
2015.
It was like very late 2015 or super early 2016 January, like
yeah, because
right after New Year's Day, like very soon. But yeah, I got to go do that and try out like 10 of the experiences that a lot of the developers were making for Steam VR, especially focused stuff like Job Simulator, Hover Junkers, which I'm working on a video for that because that game breaks my heart. That's
Whoa,
like,
Hover Junkers. Oh wow. Haven't thought of that in a long time.
I know that's I'm so for hold on real quick. I just want to say for October I'm working on a series of like it's VR games from the grave because it's like
That's
hell.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I want to try to revive some dead VR games that I think are actually pretty good. But anyway, Hover Junkers, special place in my heart, my first VR experience. Then they sent VRSpies to everyone that won the contest thereafter, and I didn't really do anything. I was just like on the Vive subreddit, kind of just like showing people a lot of the stuff because that was like at the time that I got like the most developers emailing me keys to things because they were just like, a lot of these developers didn't even have Vive Freeze or Vive dev kits. Like they were just developing for VR and had no one to test them. So I was like, yeah, you can, I'll test them. And then people on Reddit were like, hey, I want to see, some of the stuff. So I'd ask the developers if they'd be okay with that, and I did. And so I just did kind of gameplay, and I thought it was important to show my body. I never talked in these videos back then because I was just kind of showing off the game. I didn't really care about what I had to say. I just wanted people to see the game and how well the tracking was at the time. Lighthouse tracking.
Technology.
And then I eventually did Job Simulator. And when that day came out, and like that blew up quite a bit. those videos have like millions of views, and because I basically just acted like complete fool everything I did in those videos. People thought that was funny. And then from there on, I just kind of kept doing stuff that got to me to this point, 81,000 subscribers yesterday, actually.
Nice.
Congratulations on that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
congrats, man.
I've always
That's
thought in my
huge.
mind, if you get above 60K subs, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd be happy to just get 10. All right, so you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
No, you gotta get 60 to be.
It's just, yeah. I'm happy about the number. My idea is like if I can get 100K, get the gold, the silver play button or whatever, sometime
Right on, man.
I'll be like happy. I don't even really do YouTube that much anymore. Obviously, it's like I do like maybe one video a month because I kind of just want to do things that I really deeply care about in the VR industry. I don't like want to play some not very enticing game.
So you're not just a for hire reviewer. You're somebody who's passionate about it.
Yeah,
I agree.
I understand you.
Yeah, and like the reason I did the video I just did recently on Upload on Friday was like like I said, the Virtual Athletics League contacted me saying they wanted people to know about this tournament, and they wanted to pay me originally, but I told them no, I want to do this. So I asked, the only thing I asked for was give me a contact of a local VR arcade so I can talk to them and tell them, hey, I want to come over and do an interview and like ask them stuff like that, because that's what I wanted. That's what I kind of want to do, is just like, I don't want to, I just want to kind of do stuff like that I think is really special and interesting and kind of build.
Well, and by putting yourself in that position, you are a thought leader as well as somebody who gets to somewhat be thought of as, I don't know, a formal figure, you know what I mean? As opposed to just running around, just participating and just sitting on your ass. You're actually trying to spread the subject and talk to people and then actually get that content out to people. So definitely, not only are you a content creator, but you're an ambassador. So
yeah, and there's a lot of things people don't know I did do because I don't directly have them on my channel or like speak much, but like I did stuff for Smosh Games back in the day, helped them do VR videos, and then I did Dude Perfect. I helped them do their one VR video they had that's like over 40 million views. So the way I see it, I introduced so many people to VR, going on the news, doing these other channels that normally would not touch VR in general. And I feel very good inside about that. And I also like, now I'm like at the point where I'm promoting something else that's kind of small in the big scheme of things, like VR esports, VR arcades, and like all this stuff. And that I do stuff that makes me feel good here. Like that's what I like to do on YouTube.
I think we can all agree with that a little bit. I think we all, even in the VRSpies world, we feel like we've been ambassadors. We've touched a lot of things and affected a lot of things, and sometimes you don't get always credit for it. But that's not why you do it in the first place. Yet at the same time, you want people to know, like, I had something to do with this stuff. Like I'm a part of this.
I know. Some days back in the old days, it felt like you were like the guy knocking on the doors, going, "Hey, have you heard the good word of VR? Here, can I put this on your head? And I mean, so many demos, so many events that we did.
Don, you and I both did 2 meetups in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, local meetups, man. Taking it to like carrying my Gear VR with me to Missouri State University every day, and just like, hey, come to my office. You got to see this. I mean, just evangelizing it. I mean, so.
Well, I was happy enough.
I want to be careful approaching people like that.
I had my speech coaches in this thing at the bars afterwards because I made sure they tried it, and then they were just playing Beat Saber and doing things with the first contact robot while we were outside in the middle of this place, and it was so fun not only for them to experience it, but then of course to see everybody at the entire bar like go, what is, I wish I was with them.
Yeah.
I wanted to be playing in the VR headset as well. So it's in the future. It's not going to be this thing where we talk about it like this. In the future, people are just going to know the tech, and I think it's all going to be integrated much.
Bring it on, man. Bring that future. I'm ready for it.
We're getting there, man. We're getting there. So, well, I know we've been talking a little bit over an hour now. We try to keep these podcasts down to right about an hour. We want to be concise, but I do want to make sure that everybody gets to talk and say anything that they wanted to say. So if anybody has a 5-minute rant they want to go off on, think about it now. We're going to do it. And if anybody has any questions for us, definitely we want to say or answer those if we can. Predictions for OC6? Once again, they're going to talk about a lot of concepts. They're going to show off some things that they've been doing, but I don't think that they're going to have an actual headset. That's my belief.
I don't either, Caleb. I don't think we're going to see an actual headset launch this year, but I do think that. I don't know. The one rumor that I really hope is true is that there is some sort of like wireless PC bridge that they're going to talk about, because I mean, we're starting to see that more and more with virtual desktop. I got a chance to finally try that, and man, I got to tell you, Guy has nailed it with virtual desktop. If you have a great 5 gig connection, it's pretty damn good. Right. I mean, it was very surprising that I could use a mobile VR headset and play my Steam VR content library with my Quest. And not even out in my backyard, getting that same holodeck experience that I'm getting with just playing the native Quest out there, having room to move, so to speak. So,
I do agree. I think that there's got to be a way to take this Quest and make it work with your Rift library. That would be an amazing thing.
Oh, I mean, that would be the end all beat all right there. I mean, so I that's the one prediction I have. I've been seeing the rumors. I really hope they're true. We're seeing other companies doing it. Oculus, come on, just spill the beans. We got to know that you guys are working on an official solution to this, because it would make the Quest the ultimate VR headset right now. Just saying. So.
As it already somewhat is, but yeah, I agree. It would completely.
I love the chat right now. By the way, the chat is pretty funny.
Has Bradley Dog tried VR yet? I don't know, Bradley. Has he? Has Peanut been in VR?
Oh. No, but he's in a few of my mixed reality videos, actually.
Yeah.
So technically, yes.
He was in the VR world. He just didn't see it.
Know it. Just didn't know it himself.
Lost in mixed reality.
We're all in the matrix right now. We just don't know it. Hey, I do want to say one thing I keep forgetting. Props to RV Immersive Experience. The company I do work for, the line won Best VR Interactive Narrative Experience, or Interactive Experience, at the Venice Film Festival, which is really amazing. The same festival where Joker won.
That's very cool, man.
Thematics.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's the first time RV's kind of jumped out there and done an actual so now we can say Peanut's been in the index. Boom. You saw it here, guys.
Nice.
So what's really cool about this thing, I do want people to look forward to it, because eventually it's going to come out to all the headsets, but it's like a 10-15 minute experience where we got Rodrigo Santoro, the guy that played the bad guy in 300. Or he was in Love Actually, and he was also in Ben-Hur as Jesus. Like he's a Brazilian guy. He's got a really nice voice, and he just kind of narrates the whole experience. And as the experience goes on, you actually interact with the set and the story.
Nice, Brad.
Move around your room. As you move around your room, you have to actually go back to the beginning and kind of move back and forth, and it becomes this very emotional experience. It's very beautiful. and it touches a lot of people. So we had the headset coming off and a lot of tears in
That's
people's
awesome.
eyes when it was happening.
No, and I love those experiences.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
dude.
gaming is one thing, but there's just something about a good VR cinematic just gets you right here in the feels.
Yeah, this is one of those.
So really looking forward to seeing this.
It had me at the beginning, and yeah, I was struck by it. So it was very exciting. I mentioned that in my talk, which was kind of fun. And so, anyways, just want to say props to them for that. And I think we've got some other things we're going to be working on. But if you go to OC6, Anna is going to be there, game dev with a Pixorp 1995. Is going to be
Nice. Can't wait to see that one too.
That
That
is
is awesome.
demos. I think they've got like 20 spots for people to come in and see the demo. And Bradley, I think you might go check that out. Hopefully,
Definitely.
and you can give a little social post and tell us what you think about that. I haven't played it yet. They had a whole bunch of people testing and doing things, and I've been looking in from the outside. What I can say that it's looking pretty cool. It's looking pretty good. The art is amazing. I've only seen tidbits here and there, but there's so much that they're doing with it. Like 1989 had the world all in that Game Boy, and 1995 has so much more going on with it, right? And the team is big.
I can't wait. I loved 89, so I can't wait to see what she follows up with. So this is gonna be cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I know at OC6. I know they're going to be there. I also know that F Reality Group is going to be there. The whole VR Oasis, Mike, we got Nathy, you got Rowdy Guy,
Zimtalk.
Last guy's name?
Zimtalk. Somebody. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that we got they're all going to be there and hanging out. So hopefully you can keep up with anybody and everybody who's going to be in the content world. Try to jump onto them if you can, and check
for
out
sure,
the stuff
man.
they've got going on.
They are your eyes and ears on the floor. I mean,
Yes.
so.
Yes. Big props to all the guys that are out there. The VR community is certainly the reason we exist, because we want to, be a part of it too, right?
Yes, I would like to be a part of it.
I'd like to be a
I'm not
part
going
of
to
it
go there. So
as much as possible.
I'm going to go there.
No. Hey. I've talked too much. So, anything you guys want to say before we go?
Nope. Any last minute questions from the chat? No, looks good.
Well, I do want to say thanks, Bradley. Thanks for spending an hour and a half of your day with us.
Oh, this was great. I really enjoyed it, actually. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Definitely willing to come back again.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna keep talking to Bradley. We
should keep talking
right back
about
after
it.
OC6.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I'll have a
set
lot of stories to talk about how I scurried away from the crowd while Muffin did all the talking for me. No, but
no, it's gonna be great, man. I'm really, really excited for you, and truly, I'm happy that you can break out of your shell even more, and you can use not only all the events that you've been able to do lately, but just I know how it is, like with just life in general changing, and I can see you from the outside, and I can see you progressing and growing, and I'm happy to see you have that presence. So get out there and be proud, go make a name for yourself, and let us know how it is. So
will do. Thanks.
Go forth.
Until next time, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming by.
See ya.
And
See ya. Peace.
Peace.